Hello, Dad. This is Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast, and today's topic is this: second-guessing dadhood. Let's do it.
Hi, my name's Miko, and you're listening to my dad, Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast. Thanks for listening.
Yep. All right, Dad. So as I've been trying to pour into you brand new dads, more and more over these last episodes, there's been more and more activity in the Dadhood Journey Facebook group, which has been awesome. Dads really supporting each other. You guys I'm really impressed. Just being really real, I want to say, is being real and raw about it, that these episodes I've been doing about it being tough, you guys are voicing like, yeah, it's tough, I'm there. What about this? What about that? It's great. The whole reason why I wanted this podcast to be out and for the Facebook group to be there is a safe place to lay it on the line and get help and get support, and it's happening, and I love it. So if you're listening to this and you want some of that, go to the Dadhood Journey on Facebook, apply to get in, answer a couple questions, because we want to make sure, yes, you're a dad, and two, you're a dude, and that's what the group's for, so it can be that safe environment. But this episode's not about the Facebook group. The Facebook group has brought up a couple of different topics of things, and one of them is this. The title of it is Second Guessing Your Decision About Being a Parent. And so what I want to say about that is we all do it in the trenches, in the middle of the night, maybe more so waking up when the sun rises and you feel your body, how tired it is, and oh my God, another day of this, and everything seemed to be chaotic. You can't help but look back at your previous life, either your single life or your married life or your partnered life, if you're not married, whatever it was before kids, and being like, man, that was great. What did we do? It's totally normal. It's totally natural. And I love that it's being voiced more, because we all think it, but there's obviously it doesn't sound like a great thing to say, right? Of like, oh my God, like, yes, I love my kid, but like, oh my God, why did we do this? It sounds horrible. Like, what parent's going to say that out loud? Well, real parents do. You know, I've never met a parent that didn't think that, because every time I bring it up, and I do it proactively, I say like, yeah, you're probably thinking like, what the hell did we do here? And they'll laugh and they'll kind of pause for a second, and then it's almost like a door's open to be able to explore that space of, not that you don't want to be a parent, because again, I've never met a parent that wanted to take that back. I'm sure there are people out there that feel that way. I just don't come across them. But really, it isn't about like, why did we do this? Maybe we shouldn't have had a kid. It's more of, this sucks. You know, I didn't know I was signing up for this. Those kind of feelings, and the feeling of, oh my God, is this ever going to change? Is it ever going to end? Right? But I do this episode, I bring it up with new parents so that thought can be said out loud, not by them first, because it might be seeming sacrilegious, or I'm being a bad parent, or maybe if I say that out loud, people are going to think of me as a bad person or a bad parent. All those things go through our minds. But if you say it out loud, then it just acknowledges what is. It acknowledges how hard it is. And anytime you go through a hard phase in life, don't you wish like you didn't do it? Like, if it was something that you actively chosen, like say if you like start an exercise program to get back into shape, and those first couple of workouts you're just thrashed and you can hardly move and you can't even like get out of bed because your torso hurts so much, or you can't like lift your shoulder bag onto your bag to go to work, or shoulder to go to work because you're so sore, you're thinking like, what am I doing this for, right? But the second guessing dadhood, the second guessing becoming a parent, I just want you to know it's totally normal. And the more you can just be real about that and bring it up kind of jokingly, takes the edge off of it being serious of a person listening to you and saying like, whoa, like questionable morals, questionable person here. Or maybe, especially women, and I want to talk about that for a second, if they were to express anything like that, either one, they're afraid of being judged as a bad mom, bad person, but also fear of, okay, this person probably has postpartum depression and maybe they're going to drown their baby in the bathtub, right? And I shouldn't make light of that because that can be a very real thing, but it is a natural part of these first 3 weeks. And gosh, guys, there's going to be times where like your toddler is just a crazy person and nothing's working on a day, or you just can't get the kid to go to sleep and like all you want them to do is just lights out and start going to sleep so you can like have a moment of peace, because everything in the evening from dinner time to bath time to brushing teeth to even getting PJs on to in bed is just so much work that you're like, oh my God, this sucks. Like, why am I doing this? Why? So it's going to come, but the more you can just be real with yourself of, all right, I'm acknowledging that because this sucks, then it helps dissipate it, because usually the suck doesn't last forever. Especially like with Toddlerville, like it's these pockets, right, of time where you have a bad evening or a bad day, or maybe on the outside of things, a bad couple of days. Those are rare. I've talked about that with growth spurts. They have a kind of crazy person attitude. But in the first few weeks and months when you're a new dad, it's weeks and months, all right? So I feel you, brother. It's tough. So with your mate, one of the guys commented that he and his wife were actually talking about that. I think the baby's only a couple weeks, and it's been tough because of intermittent sleep and all that jazz. And I didn't put this in my comment, but I just love that you guys are even talking about that and it being real and acknowledging that it's hard, because sometimes, most of the time, I would say both parents, mom and dad, are feeling that way, but they don't want to express it for the reasons I said. But they don't want to express it, especially to their partner, because then they're afraid their partner might be wondering about them in the same way that you're thinking of like outside people judging you or putting you into a box. Like, you definitely don't want that with your partner. But if you have the type of relationship where you can actually talk about that and support each other through it and move through it, that is awesome. So kudos to you, Dad, for being able to have that conversation. And hopefully it was in a kind of a desperation but with a chuckle type of thing. It might not have been that conversation. It might have been like just desperation because you're both dog dead tired. But what I recommend, if you're a dad and you're feeling that, talking with other dads, talking with other parents helps in that sense of making it kind of funny, but also exploring that space of how tough it is, because anybody that's been through a newborn phase, if you're a parent, knows what it's like, and they'll be right there to support you and know. And they're going to say the same things I'm saying to you, Dad, that it gets better. It gets better. But with your wife, with your spouse, they may be feeling that, but the way to bring it up is just acknowledging like how hard it is. And if your wife has the personality or the sense of humor to be able to say in a jokingly way there to bring it up, that could work. But I would definitely let them bring it up first, rather than jumping in and fear of looking like the dad that like can only go 2 weeks into parenthood and wants to give up and is second guessing it, you know. If you have a really strong relationship with your spouse, like you'll be able to get there. But even if you have a really strong relationship with your spouse, communication wise and being really open and honest, the first couple of weeks, and for that matter the first couple of months, like things are just different with her because she's recovering from 9 months of pregnancy and all the discomfort of that, as well as the birth. And so the hormones are all over the place, trying to balance themselves out, intermittent sleep, stress about being able to feed the kid enough, being a good mom, on top of all of the physical chemical healing that has to happen from all of that. It's sense of humor might not be there, so it might not work. But for the dads that are going through that, like sharing that with other dads and getting feedback about, what your brand of holy hell, what's going on here, and things that might be able to be shared of getting you through that, tips about, nighttime feedings or diapers or the laundry or cooking or whatever. The general advice is take as much off of your plate as possible to just focus on you guys transitioning into becoming a new family and getting used to baby. That's the way to do it. I mean, you got to work, you got to do those kind of things, but extras, like, don't put it on. Even if it seems like great of like, hey, like somebody invited us to a barbecue, let's just go do that. It'll change the monotony. Sometimes that's just like too much effort in the first couple of weeks. So even that might be a good idea to take it off the plate. So use the Facebook group, guys. Use that to explore those feelings. Use it to get support. Use it to give support. Because we're in this together, and I really want to build that kind of community where we have these just awesome dads that are in there that are really conscious, wanting to make a difference, wanting to be as good a dad as possible, wanting to be as good a partner as possible, have an awesome family, and you can't do it alone. You just can't do it alone. You need the support of everyone. It takes a village to raise your kid, that kind of thing. But also, like, as a man, like, it takes other dads to know where you're at in a different way than either moms can or other professionals or your coworkers that aren't dads. It's just different. It just absolutely is. So I hope to see you more in the Facebook group. Post what you can, post what you want in there, and get some support. So until the next time, guys, take good care of yourselves, take good care of your families, and we'll connect on the next episode.
I hope you enjoyed that episode. You can hang out with other dads in our Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for the Dadhood Journey, and apply to get in. See you there. And see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Perfect.
There you go, Dan.